My portfolio is down this month, but when I look at the numbers inside my retirement planning software, nothing has really changed. And that doesn't seem like it should make sense. So let me walk you through what actually happened in March and why those two things can both be true at the same time. When you're retired, this isn't just a number on a screen. This is what replaces your paycheck. And lately, I've been getting a lot of questions about whether my plan is actually going to work long term. So I'll show you how my portfolio actually moved through March, and towards the end, I'm going to share something from my Bolden retirement planning dashboard that I don't usually share because it gives a very clear answer to that question, just not in the way you might expect. For those of you who are new here, my name is Trena. I retired about a year and a half ago with around $500,000 saved. I'm single and I plan to take Social Security next year when I turn 62. I share what retiring without millions actually looks like in real life, the numbers, the decisions, and how it feels along the way. Let's dive into my March numbers. I've rounded everything to the nearest $5 just to keep it simple. My money market account is what I use to cover my monthly expenses. It's at $9,960. My Roth IRA is at $29,195. My after-tax brokerage account is $95,050. This includes the $90,000 from the equity of my home sale last year. So it's a mix of invested funds and money I had set aside for flexibility. My HSA balance is $5,750. And my pre-tax IRA, the bulk of my savings, is $398,515. Altogether, my total portfolio at the end of March is $538,110. So after covering all my expenses, on paper, I'm down almost $31,000 from February. And that's the number that gets your attention. Going into March, everything was on a steady path. Then the market started swinging. And this is where you really see how different parts of a portfolio behave. Most of the drop I'm seeing is coming from my growth investments. That's always where the biggest swings happen. That includes my S&P 500 fund, my tech funds, and my Bitcoin fund. On the flip side, my small position in energy funds has actually risen over 30% due to what's happening in the oil market. The more stable portions of my portfolio, like my money market, CDs, and dividend fund, are holding strong. And that's exactly what they're there for. And just to be clear, I am not selling my investments to cover my expenses. That hasn't changed. But seeing the overall number drop, that part still hits more than I expected. There's no paycheck coming in to offset it. That's where the bigger question starts to come in. Not just what happened this month, but whether a plan like this can hold up over time. This is the part of retirement you don't see in the highlight reels. It's exactly the kind of scenario people worry about. What if this downturn turns into something bigger? That's when everything starts to matter a lot more, because this is the kind of moment a retirement plan gets tested. From the very beginning, I've said that I stress tested my retirement plan using Bolden retirement planning software. And this is where that becomes really relevant and where most plans quietly fail, because most people never actually test for it. When I look at my dashboard, something interesting shows up. For context, this plan assumes I will have a life expectancy of 94, that I'll start Social Security at 62 and withdraw about $3,700 a month to cover my expenses with no additional income. So this isn't theoretical, it's built around what I'm actually living on. The software also accounts for rates of inflation and investment growth too. When I first saw these results, it honestly surprised me because according to the dashboard, my plan shows a 99% chance of success. And at the same time, it estimates my net worth could grow to nearly $5 million over time. And that's where things start to feel a little disconnected from reality. At first glance, that almost feels too good to be true, especially when you're watching your portfolio drop in a month like this. So what's going on? The reason is those numbers are measuring two very different things. The long-term projection, that 5 million, is basically the smooth path. It assumes a steady return, normal inflation, and a market that behaves over time. It's the perfect weather version of the future. But the success score comes from something very different. It runs hundreds of different scenarios. Some of those include downturns like what we're seeing now, or worse. And then it asks, does the plan still make it through? In my case, it does, almost all the time. And what that really tells me isn't that I'm going to end up with 5 million. It tells me the plan has a lot of margin. And honestly, that matters a lot more to me than the big number at the end. If you want to see how your plan is doing, I've included a link to Bolden in the description below. They have both a free or paid version. Either one is great. And this is something else that's been growing alongside all of this. My YouTube channel. Thanks to all of you, the channel is still steadily growing. We just passed 53,000 subscribers. And what's even more surprising is that 60% of my viewers aren't even subscribers. So if you watch the channel regularly, please like and subscribe to make it official. This little channel is getting quite a reach, and honestly, it still feels surreal. And it's all because of you. So thank you. This month, the channel earned $1,425. I keep that money completely separate from my retirement savings. It's not included in the portfolio numbers that we just walked through. My retirement plan stands on its own. The YouTube income just gives me a little more breathing room, not for the bills, those are already covered, but for things like travel that I might have thought twice about before. And it does shift the feel of retirement in a subtle way. It takes the pressure off and makes those choices feel easier without changing the foundation. So that's where things stand after a very real month in the market. Not a perfect month, but an honest one. And this is what I want people to see. Not perfection, but a plan that still works when the market doesn't. And it's getting close to the time I'll need to refill my cash bucket. If that's something you'd want me to walk through in a future video, let me know in the comments below. A lot of my videos come directly from your questions and ideas. I really do read them. So I'll see you there.